Welcome to the Mormon to Medium podcast, where we'll talk about spirituality, the paranormal, religion, and my journey going from Mormon to medium. I'm Nanette Ride. Thanks for listening. Now let's go have some fun.
Don't be afraid.
Hello and welcome. This is the Mormon to Medium podcast. We're so glad you joined us today. We're going to have a lot of fun. I've got a special surprise for Nan.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. You're going to love this one.
I don't know. I'm scared.
And it should be a lot of fun. So if you're joining us brand new, I'm Brad.
I'm Nan. And welcome. We're so happy that you took your time to listen to us.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That really does help us out. And let's talk religion today.
Oh, boy.
Because, as you know, we like to talk spirituality, religion, and Nan's journey in becoming
a Mormon medium.
Exactly.
Mormon to medium, right? Religion is a big part, of a lot of people's lives. And trying to navigate religion and spirituality is kind of a tough thing because they kind of don't go together.
What do you mean by religion and spirituality don't go together? Because that seems like a Reese's peanut butter cup. That's peanut butter and chocolate, right? That's something.
Oh, now you're making me hungry.
Right? Sounds good. But that should go together. Chocolate and peanut butter. Tell me more. Make me hungry, Nan.
Well, you don't need spirituality to have religion. You can have religion. It's a man-made thing. You can show up, you can go to church, you can read your scriptures, you can pay your tithing, you can attend the temple, whatever. You don't have to have spirituality, especially if you count on the prophet who's leading the church to give you the revelation you're supposed to have, right?
Got it.
You don't have to have it, but you don't have to have religion to have the spirituality. You can have spirituality all by itself, and that's who you are. You are a spirit having a human experience.
So I don't need to have a building to have spirituality.
You are the building.
But wait a minute. I feel so spiritual in the temple, right? That you hear that all the time.
Right.
Like I've got this great peace, this spirituality in the temple. Every time I go, I try to go every week because I feel such peace inside.
But don't you feel the same kind of peace if you were to go and sit among the redwoods, or go to and sit at the edge of the water of a lake, or go to the ocean, or hike a mountain and sit there in silence? Don't you feel the exact same way? The exact same reverence and silence, and it's just getting the mind quiet. That's all it is. And that's all you do in the temple is you let go of all the outside world and you get quiet. And if we would do that in our world, we're among the most beautiful things ever.
And that's a really good point, because you go in there, you leave your cell phone in a locker, you leave all your street clothes in a locker, you change into your little baker's uniform, and you go in there with a complete different mindset.
Right.
So, which you could literally do anywhere, but they've made it so that you have to do it in this opulent setting in order to be spiritual.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, it's because it's man-made and it's religion. It's all about, control and money and, keeping you going. But remember when a couple weeks ago we were with our kids and we went up to Zion's National Park, and we got out of the car and we walked down into a wash, and we were walking in the sand where the water would normally run. We love to look for rocks and different kinds of things in the sand. Do you remember how quiet it was and how peaceful it was, and how we just sat there for probably an hour and a half or 2 hours?
Yeah.
Just silent. And even our puppy.
All four of us in voodoo.
Yeah, we were just silent. And it was the best church, because you can be quiet with your own thoughts, with your own heart. You can get there's no one telling you what to do or what to feel or what to think.
Right.
You're one with your source. And that's the best church.
Well, and Yuki and Britton were so, just enamored with the rocks, and I think they had so much fun. They're little rock hounds.
Exactly. Right. But
Yeah.
we're among God's creatures, right? And when we're out in nature, we're part of nature. We're made of the same things that beautiful nature is made of. And so we're just at one. We're one with our Creator. And I think that that's even more important to realize that we don't have to go to a temple or a building, because we are the temple. We are the building. And that's much more important. When we can turn that freeway off in our brains and let our phones go, and calm the energy around us and just be at one with creation, you get a lot of downloads. A lot of beautiful things can come through from the other side.
Yeah. After somebody listens to the podcast, they should totally put their phone away, but not until after they consume this show. Once that's done, then put your phone away
and share with your friends.
Share it with your friends, like them, subscribe, all the things. But no, on a very serious note, what does it take to get in that meditative state? I know that I've heard you talk about helping clients before, who were like, I don't know where to start. How do you start?
You could start by lots of different things. I think the big thing is to get quiet in your mind. Whether you're journaling your thoughts down. That's what I like to do when I'm super stressed and I feel overwhelmed. I like to write my thoughts down and then kind of mull them over, read over them, just so it's a mind dump and I'm not walking around with all these crazy thoughts in my head, stressing me out. Then I can look at it from a different perspective, a more calm perspective, because it's not all jumbled in my head. But I mean, you could journal. I personally, I love to meditate. I love at night before I go to bed, I love to fill my bath full of super hot water. And I love to get in there with sea salt in there and vinegar in there and change the pH so it removes all negative energy. Mm-hmm. And I connect with the other side. I ask my team questions. I ask them to guide me. I will pray in that spot. When I miss Corey, I'll ask him to come to me. And I've even had the honor and the privilege of, sorry.
You're okay.
I got to see my new little grandbaby girl. And I got to meet her and she's so fun. And when my beautiful daughter was just here, I got to feel her kick my hand. So, super cool. Meditation is the very best. And you can't just start meditating. You have to take little bits at a time,
Well, I think you can start meditating. You just can't go, I'm going to sit there for an hour.
Yeah. So do like 3 minutes. There is a speaker set that I always use. They're called Now speakers, and they do Tibetan bowls and they vibrate in your hands. And so it's a touch experience and a sound experience, but they
this is what they are. And I will go ahead and just turn them on.
They're amazing. It's kind of like yoga for the brain. And these will go for 3 minutes. But you just concentrate on the bowl and the vibration in the hand.
And they'll bounce back and forth between each other. It's almost like what EMDR focuses on. It's like a little home EMDR set almost. It's very cool. But we both use these things all the time. They're awesome.
Well, and I've had people that have come into my office and have just laid on the table, and I put this on each side of their ears and they just lay there and it calms them right down. It takes them from super, super stressed to a zero, like, oh my gosh, I could almost fall asleep right now. But learning to calm that freeway in our brain, because we are so inundated with electronics and, all of the news and all of the things and all the people's energy, we're feeling each other so much more these days. Yeah. To be able to shut that off and just be one with the other side and with the elements is just such a beautiful, beautiful place to be. But it takes practice. It takes doing it every single day.
Yeah. Well, and so what I'm learning too from you is it's okay to have an aid, something to help you through it, whether it's an app on your phone that talks you through a meditation or something like these, Now speakers that do it with you. It's okay to have a help. It's not something where you just have to jump into it and go, oh my God, please mind, be quiet.
No.
Because you're always going, okay, my mind, at least for me, I bounce to all these things that I have to do with work, with home, with, okay, I'm doing this remodel job here. And oh my gosh, at work, I've got to travel here and here. And it's hard to keep quiet.
And that's where the practice comes in, because that's completely natural for your mind to bounce to different thoughts. But what you do is you recognize the thought and bring it back to the breath. You recognize the thought, bring it back to the breath. Or if you fall asleep, that's okay to fall asleep. That means you're tired.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Your subconscious mind will still take in the meditation, and it's really, really cool. But it's okay to not be perfect at it. And I still do guided meditations. I'm really good at doing my own meditation, especially before I go in with a client. But I will do a guided meditation. I did an awesome one a couple weeks ago about abundance. And the person taking me through it kind of described a morning where you're laying in your bed and you're just waking up, and the sunbeams are coming through the white curtains and the sun's starting to shine, and like all the details you could see. And then all of a sudden you go to the window and you open the window, and then it starts to rain little tiny gold coins. And then you go out into the rain, and these gold coins start to land on the ground all around you. So you open your hands and they start to land in your hands. And then as you start to walk, you look off in the distance and there is a green cloud coming towards you, and it's full of money, and like all these details of abundance and wealth and things coming. And like,
why did my whole vision of that just go to Mario Brothers? You can see him bouncing, jumping and grabbing the coins. Oh my God. Seriously, that's where my mind went.
Of course it did. Of course it did. Because you're 14. No, you're a gamer though. I am not a gamer, but I love playing Mario Kart though. It is fun. But yeah, I even do guided meditations. I did a guided meditation once or twice to find my spirit animals. Because I was curious. I kind of had an idea, but for them to show up in a meditation is really cool because you get to actually meet them and hear their thoughts, which is really, really cool. So, guided meditations, A+, do those. Absolutely do those. There's lots of apps out there where you can do free ones. YouTube has some. You can even do like binaural beats, like drum beats or flute sounds or things like that will help you meditate as well. It just depends on what you're up for. But if you only have 3 minutes, do 3 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So is 3 minutes a long time?
In some people's world, yeah.
Well, look, let me surprise you with what I was talking about then.
Jeez, I'm so nervous.
Bam.
No, you did not.
Oh, yeah, I did.
He's getting serious. He's got his readers.
I've got my readers on.
Oh, shoot.
Because I'm old now.
Are you for real?
I am. This is the real deal.
Geez.
So in Mormonism, this is known as the quad. And only the most spiritual people actually own a quad.
Really? Because there's a lot of 12-year-olds, though, in quads.
Well, here's the thing. This is a status symbol within the Mormon community. If you have to carry all of them, that's 4 books that you're carrying around.
Right.
You know, you got, well, even more if you split it up. Usually the Bible's, 1 book, then you've got your Book of Mormon, your Pearl of Great Price, and your Doctrine and Covenants. So you're carrying around all these different books. If you're really cool and really spiritual, you have a quad.
Dude, though, I got that in one of those for seminary in high school. And in seminary, you're only using like just the Book of Mormon part or just the Doctrine and Covenants part.
You
or
actually got a
just the
quad
Bible.
in seminary?
Yeah.
Because I got the Bible, and then I got a Book of Mormon and a D&C and Pearl of Great Price. But I didn't get a quad. I had them all separated.
I did not have them
Actually,
separated.
I guess I didn't really go all the way through seminary. I really only just got the Bible because that's the seminary part I did initially. When I was in high school, I was like, this is a waste of time.
Well, and I had my kids get the quad too for seminary, but I always hated that I had to carry around all the extra books when we were only studying this one book.
I gotcha.
It was like, it's such a pain in the butt. It's like trying to carry your English book and your math book and all of your other books all at the same time. It's like, oh, come on.
Well, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to read the Book of Mormon, but I'm wondering what it says. And I was looking at it today, and I am going to read.
Is that a scripture mastery card?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
wow.
Like, these are great bookmarks because you can use them to highlight things with. But I am going to read the most read scripture in all of the Book of Mormon.
I bet I can quote it with you.
I'll bet you can.
And I, Nephi.
It goes like this.
Being born of goodly
So,
parents.
Nan's got it right. Nan's got it right. I, Nephi. Some people pronounce it Nephi. That's how you can tell if somebody's from Utah or not. If they say Nephi, because there's a town called Nephi in Utah. If somebody calls it Nephi, they are not from Utah.
It's true.
If they're from Utah, they say Nephi. I, Nephi, having been born of goodly parents.
You are saying that.
Oh, yeah. Goodly parents. What is a goodly parent? Seriously. Do we have, let's see if we have something down here. What does it say? It refers us to Proverbs 22:1.
And you have a quad, so you can
And
go
it's
right to
talking
that.
about the birthright. So I, Nephi, having been born of goodly parents, therefore I was taught somewhat in all the learning of my father. And having seen many afflictions in the course of my days,
Your
nevertheless,
father.
yes. Nevertheless, having been highly favored of the Lord in all my days, yea, having had a great knowledge of the goodness and the mysteries of God. Therefore I make a record of my proceedings in my days. So this is Nephi. This is the guy who's like, hey, I'm writing this shit because I am awesome. He starts it off, right? Nephi is the OG of the Mormon religion.
It's true.
He is.
He is.
He's the one everyone loves. Now, his dad was pretty cool, but not as cool as him.
It's true.
And so everyone's like, oh, Nephi. Oh, my God, Nephi.
Yeah, but he beheaded somebody too.
Yes, he did. That's actually an interesting story because murder is okay. It establishes it very well. Murder is okay in the light of religion.
I mean, seriously, even Dexter has like a code.
Dexter has a code. Nephi also had a code. So here's a verse that I think was really interesting, though. And I read this and I'm like, why did he have to say that? This seems like, okay, let me just read it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, first I'm going to read two. So I read the first one, blah, blah, blah. Number two, yea. And just the way they talk, right? It's like, it seems very contrived. Anyway, yea, I make a record in the language of my father.
My father.
I'm sorry, guys. That's an inside joke that we just can't really explain, but it's hilarious to us. Which consists of the learning of the Jews and the language of the Egyptians. So he's teaching about the Jews in the language of the Egyptians. So that was one of the things is, oh, this was Reformed Egyptian, that's being translated, right?
Right. The book of Abraham is supposed to be
Reformed
Egyptian. Yeah.
And this is the one that really gets me. And I know that the record which I make is true. And I make it with mine own hand. And I make it according to my knowledge. So,
oh, wow.
yeah, this is true. You just believe this. This is true. So let me ask you this. Do you remember driving up Spanish Fork Canyon? And around Covered Bridge, there was always a guy across the way selling the best beef jerky in the world.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. It was horrible.
That's what the sign said.
That's what the sign said.
Yeah.
But was it the best? No, it was shit.
That was what he thought.
It was shit. Kind of like in Elf when he goes, oh, I found the best cup of coffee in the world. And he has Zoe taste it and she's like, it tastes like a really crappy cup of coffee. If you have to say this is the best one in the world, it's probably not true. And
that's a good point.
Yeah. When I'm reading that now, it's almost like, hey, look at this. This is the truth. I swear to God, this is true. I'm writing this. It's true. And it's all of my experience.
Well, additionally, if you think about it, when you were 20 years old, what you knew is completely different at 50.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
100%.
And so you may be like, I remember thinking that the church was completely true. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'd stake my life on it. There was a point in my life where that was me. But you take me at 58 and no.
Yeah, different story, right?
So I think you need to take into consideration his age and what has he gone through in his life. Probably not so much.
Or take into consideration that this was written by Joseph Smith.
Right.
And he's trying to make sure everyone believes that it's true.
Exactly.
So, oh, wow, how do I make it so people believe this is true? I know.
I'm going to tell them it is.
I'll tell them it's true in the book.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to believe it.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was just something. I almost want to start another page where I just read the Book of Mormon.
Please don't. How about that be a different podcast?
Well, that's what I mean. Just another podcast. We'll call it
Mormon Readings.
Right? Brad reads. Is there a book you would like to hear me read? Let me know. Other than the Book of Mormon, I'm sure there's something out there. No, so I wanted to read that because it bothered me. I was thinking about it the other day and I'm like, wait a minute, why would you have to tell somebody how true this was?
Right.
Instead of just going, here's the story. Here's what happened. This is what happened. I don't need to tell you it's true. But essentially it goes on and yeah, there's a lot here. There's a lot. We could literally talk about this for days and read this for days. But let me ask you, Nan, when it comes to that giant ass book, and obviously the Book of Mormon is not that big, and usually it's not that big. I just have the large font because why not? Right.
Right.
Eventually you'll need it. So get the large font. What do you think of that big book? Is it the most correct book on earth, as once was proclaimed by a prophet?
You know, PROFIT, prophet. Yeah.
More now than ever.
Yeah. You know, I would absolutely 100% say no. Just because there's no historical or archaeological evidence of this.
Yeah.
And I even remember us going to Mexico for the very first time, and our guide was LDS, and he was trying to make the Book of Mormon fit into these ruins that we were seeing and stuff, and it just didn't go. It didn't. Right. It didn't fit. It didn't.
Well,
feel
there were
right.
certain things that were similar, right? And so, based on confirmation bias, you go, "Oh my God, yeah." That is so accurate. That just goes right along with the temple. And look, they're wearing an apron just like we would in the temple. So you look at it and you go, yeah, that's definitely got to be true.
Yeah, I think it's a stretch. I think it's a big stretch. I think that a lot of the quote unquote man-made religions, they talked, you know, people traveled yeah, but the fact that there isn't any historical evidence, there's no
giant battlefields with millions of people who were murdered.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Horses.
Not to mention the horses, and I mean, it's sad.
Iron.
Yeah.
Other things like that. Yeah. There are a lot of anachronisms.
I think there's a reason why so many people have started First Nephi 35 times and not gotten through the first or the Book of Mormon.
It's because the book is boring.
They can feel that it's not true, though. That's the thing.
And here's maybe how they should sell it initially. Go, look, this book's got some fun stories in it. You should read it. Oh, and when you get to that really boring chapter, don't worry about it. Just skip it.
Exactly. Well, what if it were movies? Oh my gosh. There would be some pretty raunchy ratings that a lot of Mormons couldn't watch.
Yeah, Mormons couldn't watch their own book.
No.
But they can read about it.
Right.
But they can't read that, what is it, Court of Thorns? What is the
Thorns and Roses.
Thorns and Roses.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks, oh, look, my wife's reading fantasy novels. She loves the fairies. No, that's porn. That is porn.
Oh my gosh, you only read one love scene. Oh my heck.
Yeah, one out of a whole book full of them.
There was like 10.
And it made me blush.
It did not.
I was like, holy shit.
It did not.
Oh, yes, it did.
It did not. It takes a lot to make you blush.
Exactly my point.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, it made me blush. So when you see your wives reading that or your ladies reading that,
you're getting lucky.
Yeah. Yep. They're not reading it for the fairies.
Oh my gosh.
Look, man.
I didn't know it bothered you so much.
Oh, it
see?
doesn't bother me. I think it's funny. Nan's face is going red because she knows. She's like, oh, yeah, I read that.
I did. The funny part is my daughter read it with me. She's the one that told me to read it. It's a very good series. It really, really is. So.
Yeah, I believe you. Hey, and it's your story. You want to read softcore porn? I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, honey.
So that's what I've got for folks today. You know, maybe that's what we need to do on a regular basis now. We'll just read a verse from the Book of Mormon each show.
Yeah, let's not say read it.
Are you sure? It would
really?
be fun. All right. We don't
Okay,
have
that
to.
could be your part. I don't want to.
I'll read a Book of Mormon verse and you can draw a card.
Okay, that's
Do you
fair.
want to draw a tarot card right now?
I am not prepared.
Oh, you're prepared as you need to be.
No, that is not a tarot deck. That's an oracle deck.
That's
baby.
all right. Pull it. Pull a card. Any card. Let's see what the month of March has for us. Yep. Let's pull a card for the month of March.
Huh.
Hold it up there to the camera. Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know what it says. It's an eagle. I know
We'll
that.
turn it around and
Ha. Embrace spirit, bitches. Ha ha. Did we not just talk about this?
yeah. Yeah, we did. So that's perfect. So
And
for the month of
actually,
March.
an eagle is my spirit animal as well, too.
Nice. Nice. So embrace spirit. That is your card for the week.
Yes. Yeah. Get to know who you are as a spirit and step into your spiritual path. You guys, life is so much richer when you're able to do that and you're not reactive to the outside world. You're coming from a place of peace and calm. So highly recommend.
I love it. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around and listening to us. Sorry if I traumatized anybody or brought up old wounds by reading the Book of
I need
Mormon.
a Xanax.
Yeah, especially you. Sorry, Nan. But thanks again, everybody. We sure appreciate it. Please remember, like and subscribe. We love you, and we'll see you
On the other side of the veil.